Vexillus Praetors are veteran custodians who have the incomparable privilege of bearing one of the Custodes' prized Vexillas into battle. These inspirational, artisan-crafted banners bear arcane technologies and radiate with the Emperor's own light. Hi, it's Tacticus, and in today's video we'll see if Aesoth is actually as inspiring as his lore text claims. If you want to join me for the showcases of the other custodians, I link them in the description. You can support my work by using my referral code VET60edu in-game and earn 100 Blackstone by doing so. With a base rarity of Uncommon, Aesoth is the lowest of the three custodians introduced so far in Tacticus. He carries a giant Aquila standard, and other than that, is a pretty basic Custodes. I'm sorry, but I'm just not as glamoured by his design. Although he's quite shiny, and you'll see his Vexilla is extra shiny. So much indeed, it does that during battle the whole time. Instead of a weapon, he carries a giant shield he shoves enemies with, instead of hitting them with his banner. Oh well, he looks defensive, and he definitely is. At Epic 1 star and Gold 1, his health is 2611, which puts him at rank 13 of all 94 characters now in total. It is just 1 point behind Berakiel, Ajak and Jäger for example, so you can judge how bulky he is. His armor is equally impressive at rank 6, only 1 point behind Rask. This chunky boy will definitely tank a lot of hits. Crit Calandis shots, they don't even tickle. A reverse overwatch at same level, he'll die, while Rask will just live. While Aesoth is bulky, he lacks any of the armor traits other Imperial characters might have. He does have Resilient though, and with a block equipment item and a block booster, he also has the chance to decrease incoming damage further, so in most cases he will be rather tenacious. The new Martial Katak trait, all Custodes share, means he'll take 20% less damage from normal attacks, so everything that's not coming from an active or passive ability. He also does double damage to all summons. Despite his defensive looks, he has a move of 3, which is respectable. With only a melee attack, this is sorely needed as well. His attack does 1376 damage, rank 2, only outshone by Godswill, more than Certus, Sho and Zakael, who all just have 1 hit, as Aesoth does. He also has a crit equipment slot. Is he a killer? No, not really. His attacks just do basic damage. So while he do a lot of damage against lightly armored enemies, he'll struggle against everything with good armor. Especially against summons though, he might have some merit, with his increased damage against them. As a big target, Aesoth will defensively buff your surrounding fighters. Sticking around him and his banner is also advantageous offensively, as his stand Vigil passive will give surrounding friendly units plus 114 armor and deal 23% more damage with non-normal attacks. This damage buff also scales with the ability level, starting at 20% more damage up to 25% more damage from level 36 onwards. If a friendly Custodes, including himself, uses an active ability, Stand Vigil will affect all other friendly units within 2 hexes for 1 round. This is especially great as his active, Vexilla Magnifica, can be used multiple times a game. It is a melee attack, with which he slams his banner to the ground and not only hits the targeted enemy, but also another adjacent enemy unit. The two don't have to be next to each other. The damage is on average 1421, just slightly better than his normal attack, and it's still physical damage, but he hits 2 enemies at once with it, and stuns them, and receives 62% less damage until his next turn. The cooldown is 2 rounds, so it's only once every 3 rounds actually, but he doesn't have an initial cooldown opposed to Berakiel. The active starts at 50% less damage and goes up the whole way to 2/3. This ability, of course, makes him even more tanky. Look at the footage on screen. Even a high damage piercing character like Sho doesn't come close to killing Aesoth. After using his active, he becomes even tankier, and that's against Sho, who ignores a lot of his armor. I do like Aesoth on a second glance. While his design is fairly blunt to me, I know it's Games Workshop's design, so it can't be changed much. He is an active that can be used multiple times, which immediately lets me consider taking him with Barakiel for even faster ability damage and ability uses, and he can be quite effective for cheesing. If you want some ideas how to cheese those pesky missions, you can watch my video on that here. Of course, a game like Tacticus has to be balanced to a certain extent, so the Custodes also need to apply to that and can't just be crazy overpowered. Aesoth does decent damage to summons and lightly armored enemies, has a nice repeatable way to stun your adversaries, and is a big hunk of metal that really doesn't want to die, all the while buffing your friend's damage and defenses. I imagine that he could work well in hero release events just because he can really enhance your survivability. He scores melee only, maximum 1 hit, big target, resilient and physical damage. Maximum 1 hit is always happy having more characters. In survival events I think he will be solid, but not as good since enemies scale up if you don't defeat them quickly and you can't just turtle. I don't think he'd be very relevant in guild raids, although extra damage for ability attacks might be a fun effect for Exeter Row to play with. What do you think of Aesoth? Do you like his design? Let me know in the comments, and if you'd like to see the other two custodians, watch my videos on Trajann and Trajann here. If you have any questions on some niche rule interactions I didn't mention, let me know in the comments and I collect the answers in the pinned comment during the next days.